Julia, Abby, how you girls doing over there?
Good, how are you?
We are great. For you two, you guys obviously know each other really well, running through the Keller program. When did the recruiting process start for you both?
Like, beginning of junior year, yeah.
And was this something you guys worked through together? Did you each want to take your own path in terms of the schools you visited, so it wasn't one influencing what the other was deciding?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we kind of like told each other, we're gonna make our own decisions, and we're not gonna base where we go off of what the other person like thinks and feels about each visit and the schools that they go to. So I actually just told Julia yesterday where I was going. So
Abby, did you tell Julia before you tweeted it or afterwards?
Before, yeah.
So at least she was the first to know. Did you guys know which official visits you were going at, which schools you were each looking into, or did you just try to keep it entirely separate?
Well, we told each other like what visits we were going on, and whenever we got back from the visits, we would kind of say how they went, but we didn't say like, oh, this is my #1 pick right now or anything. We just like gave the straight facts from the trips, and we just kind of like left the feelings out of it, and then so that way we didn't like pick it based on each other, and then if it turned out, which it did, that we go to the same school, then we were happy with it.
And for both of you, the Keller program has really jumped into the national spotlight in the last 2 years. How did that impact the kind of attention you were both getting and the schools you were looking at over the past couple of seasons?
I don't know. It seemed like if we hadn't gotten the national spotlight, I feel like that just kind of added to the recruiting process. I think there would have been some attention with the recruiting process, but then like once we were getting the national attention too, then it was kind of like both of them combined was like a lot. It was kind of crazy. I mean, once I committed, I got like so many retweets and everything on my tweet, and I was like, I don't like know half these people. Like, this is crazy that the running world like supports each other like it does, and I think that was crazy how those two things combined.
And we hear it pretty often with cross-country athletes. For those who are specifically focused on the track or field events, it's kind of an easier time in the fall and the off-season. For both of you, there's a lot of pressure on the Keller team this season to perform, and you guys are balancing all of that in school at Keller along with all the travel. How have you guys found that balance in attempting to make sure you're making the right choice at the collegiate level, but you're still able to run to a state championship and train and do what you have to do at high school?
Yeah, it's definitely been like up and down this season, like with all the travel and stuff for the visits, but I think it's been like obviously a really good experience getting to go different places and check out all the schools and stuff. So, I mean, it's just something that comes along with the sport, and you have to like learn how to adjust to it.
I know there were times that like I would miss practice for an official visit. I would get back like later in that day, and it just really came down to us being like really diligent about our training. And like I would get back at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon from a visit, and I missed my practice that morning with my team, and so I would have to do it in the afternoon. I know Abby did the same thing. So it's just like it's hard missing things being out of town on these trips, but I think we were both diligent with it, and then it paid off in the long run.
Yeah.
All right, so Julia, we'll start with you since you announced first and talking about A&M. But first of all, Abby told you before she tweeted it. Did you tell Abby before you tweeted?
Yes, I had a little reveal party at my house, actually. And so I told everyone that was there found out first. So, like, it was a combination of, like, my family, friends, like, my team and everything. And so I, like, told them here at my house, and then I tweeted it right afterwards.
Nice. Corey has a quick question for you here.
I'm really curious. You know, Twitter is a big moment for when you commit to these schools. What's the anticipation like when you plan your tweet and then you're like sort of waiting for the retweets to come in? Are you guys competing for retweets? What's the anticipation like when you know you're going to commit and then you're like expecting, you know, everybody to be like, yay?
I didn't expect it to. Like, my tweet, I almost got like 1,000 likes. I did not expect it to go that big. like I thought maybe like my teammates and like some A&M people would retweet it. And I remember I was sitting there like picking which pictures I was going to use and everything, and I had them saved as a draft for whenever I finally did reveal. But I didn't like expect it to go like it did. Like it kind of went a little bit bigger than I thought it would.
Nice.
So Julia, what was that final deciding factor that led you to choose Texas A&M?
It was just like the atmosphere. I felt so at home there. Like just the team and the coach and everything just clicked. And on my visit, it just felt like it was just a bunch of friends hanging out. It didn't feel like, it didn't really feel like I was on a visit there. It felt like I was already on the team. I think that was the thing for me, is I felt like I was already part of it whenever I wasn't.
And Abby, the same question for you, but also once Julia made her decision, did that impact you in any way? Or was it hard to separate Julia's choice once you actually started to try to figure out what your final school was going to be?
Well, I had already made my decision by the time she told me where she was going. So even if I had chosen another school, like, and we ended up not going to the same school, then I wasn't going to change my mind just because she was going there, because, I mean, that's like the wrong reason to change your mind about something like that. But yeah, pretty much the same thing that Julia said. Like, when I was on the visit, nothing felt sugar-coated. It was very real, and I just, like, clicked with the team and the coaching staff. So that was, like, a really big factor for me.
You guys said on Twitter that you're going to be roommates. How excited are you guys for that?
So excited.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Wait, tell me one thing about each other that you're looking forward to when you do room with each other.
Abby's just like herself all the time, and like, I mean, she doesn't try to act some certain way to impress people. She just like is herself, and so I can kind of be myself around her too. And I think it'd be nice just to have somebody there that, like, you already know so well and that you can laugh with, and you already have so many like inside jokes with. And I think that's why I'm looking forward to it, is because we just we always have a good time when we're with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. Like, you get to, it's not, like, going away to college is usually, like, sad because you're leaving all your friends, but I'm going to get to room with my best friend, so that's, like, really exciting.
Take me with you.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, let's name one thing that maybe you're not looking forward to so much about rooming with the other.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. I mean, oh, actually, yeah, I can. Abby eats, like, goldfish, like, she can't stop herself. And so anytime I have goldfish at my lunch or, like, at my house, she comes over, and the first thing she does is goes in my pantry and gets my goldfish, and before I know it, they're all gone. And so I'm kind of worried that, like, I'm never going to have goldfish while I'm in college because she's going to keep eating them.
Okay, but you know I'm going to have a giant supply, so I think
Yeah, that's
we'll
true.
always be stocked up.
We'll all be stocked up.
So if we get complaints next year at a college station that there's a goldfish shortage, we know who we're going to point the police to. It's going to be Abby. Well, girls, thanks so much for joining us here on MileSplit Live, and congratulations on the choice. Best of luck to both of you next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's pretty cool. You see the you know, the lifelong friends, teammates going through the whole process, and they were able to separate it, because I think you have that kind of concern in the back of your mind if it's going to play on one another. I think they talked about it beforehand. They made sure that they weren't going to impact each other, and just by coincidence, they end up in the same place and roommates. It's pretty cool.
And a lot of times when you go to college, you know, it's a weird, and it's a new, and it's a scared environment. So you have somebody to lean on when you get there. You know, you have somebody that you know for your entire life. So that's a big help. If you're struggling, if you're doing well, you just have somebody to talk to. You know, not everyone will have the opportunity when they go to colleges, you know, near and far. So that's also a good opportunity for them.
Yeah, it's funny knowing both of them. They feed off each other so well, and you see it even in their racing. You know, they're so close to each other in races. I think it's a great fit that both of them did end up together, even though they were trying, you know, to separate themselves and do each independently. But it's no surprise they're very similar. You know, just getting to know them over the past couple of years and covering Texas, to see them go and end up in the same place.